you're okay with them lowering the standards for the blacks?
They're not lowering the standards for
What
the
would you call
blacks.
it? Because these people are
They're
not
including.
qualified.
If you're not qualified, then you won't get the job. But if
But
you have the qualifications,
but
if
the
you have the
qualified person
resume,
is the person that can pass the test.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I know the party itself. They, as I mentioned earlier, they don't respect blacks. They think that blacks are not capable enough to do it for themselves. So they offer them affirmative action and reparations and things like that. They think that the blacks can't take.
She look bad. She look bad, fool. You see that anger? Not even anger. Like, it's like, I don't even know how to describe it, bro. It's like, it is anger, bro. She look mad, man. This is about to be an interesting video. Apparently, the dude is saying the Democratic Party doesn't respect black people. Whew, this is about to be interesting, man. Subscribe to the channel and let's get it.
Care of themselves, so they're lowering the standards in order to get into a white university. They're now telling the blacks that they don't have to take the test because they can't pass the white man's test. They think that the blacks, rather than having a father and mother in the home, they offer them government. They don't believe that the blacks are capable. And what I don't understand.
When it comes, I'll say this though. I'll say this. When it comes to universities, universities in America, this is how it works here. I don't know why it works here, so don't even ask me why. I'm not no educator or whatever. They usually require a certain amount of a race, like every single race. I think that's true. I don't know why necessarily. I think it's for representation on campus. They want people, and deal with states too. Like if you're from a specific state, they want you a little more. If you're a race, they want you more. If you're from Wisconsin and they don't have a lot of people from Wisconsin, you're probably going to get in. So that's how it works with colleges. They don't just look at race or whatever. I don't know about affirmative action. I don't even know enough about that to speak on it. But I know that colleges, they want people from all across the world because it just makes them look better. That's just how they pick. I'm just gonna keep it 100. So that's how they pick in colleges because I am in college, so that's how it's done.
And about that, and since you're involved in strategizing for them, why? What I don't understand, why do the blacks accept themselves being treated that way? Like they just can't do it. They're lowering the whole, even to get in certain jobs and things, they're lowering the standards for the blacks so that they can get it. Otherwise, they won't get it. I don't understand why the blacks put up with that.
Those type of things are just kind of balancing the scales from things that happened decades before. So as you know, slavery happened. It wasn't that long ago, as you know.
Over 150 years ago.
And my mother, not my grandmother, my mom went to a segregated school. So it's not that long ago.
I did too.
Okay, so you understand. It's not like this is distant.
But blacks were better off then. They didn't beg, they didn't blame.
Let's see. So back after World War II, there was a period in the United States, about 20 to 30 years, where when people came back from the war, they were given home loans that they had no interest or didn't even have to pay back. They were given cars, they were given free college education, they were given all of these things that purposely excluded black people. So there was a time in this country where white people got handouts, but we didn't call it that. Back at the time, you know, the GI Bill, all of those funds, we didn't call it a handout, we called it an opportunity.
I'm not even gonna hold you, fool. She's eating him up right now, bro. I want to know his response to that because I didn't even know that stuff happened. So I'm not even gonna lie, like she's saying stuff that I didn't know. So let's see what he has to say about this.
And when people look back on that time, they look back on that time, a lot of white people, as a very happy time because they got a leg up in the country, they got a fresh start, they got the money and the support that they needed to build the generational wealth that they have today. And black people didn't have access to it. They were
the generational wealth that they have today. I'll say something about that because I actually do look into like the economics of society, and the average white family today makes $54,000. And the average black family is around 40-ish thousand. So I don't know if that's true. Like it doesn't hold true in society, man. Like if you look at the numbers, the average white person in America is not living a super lavish lifestyle. That's just what it is. White people still struggle today. It'd be different if that was the case, and like the average white family was just balling out of control, but that's not the case, man. And I'm not even gonna say too much. Let's see what he has to say.
Literally purposely excluded because of racism, because of Jim Crow, because of all of these things that purposely left us out and did not give us access to the same type of help that white people did.
Where did you get that information from? Because it's not
Oh.
true. Where
It's
did you
true.
get that from?
The GI Bill, you should look it up.
I know black men who went to the military. They got the GI Bill too. It wasn't just the white.
Oh.
people. I have family members who went to the military. They got the GI Bill. When they got out,
So she just lied? Did she just lie, bro? Cause I'm over here thinking what she said is true, but black people got the GI Bill too, and I noticed when she was talking, cause she just lied. I'm over here thinking the GI Bill was anti-black, but he's saying no. I was there. I know people who got it who were black, which completely makes her argument less, true. But here's what I'm gonna say: if you're looking at her rebuttal was completely past tense. And what I mean by that is like when you're looking at the problems today or solutions today, she didn't bring up any issues we have today. Honestly, she didn't even bring up any issues we had in the past 50 years. So that's kind of a point I have.
they were able to go to school and they were able
Some
to purchase.
were, but a lot
they
of
were
them were
able to
excluded.
purchase a home
Some.
and things like that, and they were black, right? So I'm trying to figure out where you get that information from because it's not
just
true.
It's just true. We can agree to disagree, but
I
it is
grew
a
up
fact.
I grew up in Alabama when the Jim Crow law existed, and that what you said wasn't true.
Yeah, my family
Black
grew up
people
in
were doing
Texas.
better during the Jim Crow law than they are today because they weren't begging and blaming, and the country didn't have to lower the standards
It's not
to let
lowering
them
the standards.
to let them in.
It's not lowering the standards, it's giving people access. We know right now, literally recently in Texas, there was a job posting that went out where people were sending clone resumes, same exact resume, you just put a black name on it and a white name on it, and the white people were still getting the job or getting called for interviews when the black name wasn't. Like, this is 2023. So, racism exists.
Why would a company want to hire a person with a black name? They know that that's trouble.
Why is that trouble?
Because when the blacks change their name to black names, they're saying out loud, well, we hate white folks. We're not going to work with them. We're
That's
not going to
not
get
what
along.
that says.
And so I would never hire anyone with a black name
Well, that's bias. And
because I know that you're bringing in trouble. This person's already.
All right, that's not true, man. Your name, for one, you can't control your name. So for you to say I would never hire someone with a black name, that's literally just that's just racist, man. Because if my parents name me something, why wouldn't you hire me just because this is my name? It's just my name. Like, I can't change my name. What do you mean?
Want me to get along with my white employees and things like that.
Well, that's
And
internalized racism.
I wouldn't hire that.
That's your
because-
choice,
You know
but
what I
that's
mean?
bias
So
and that's racist.
why would a company want to hire someone that you know already gonna bring trouble?
That's not true. I'm Nigerian. I have a Nigerian name. Amani Onyoha is
But you
a
grew up in
Caucasian
America,
name.
though. You didn't grow up in Nigeria.
And there's a lot of black people who have ethnic names who grew up in America. So what's the difference?
But why would a company want to hire a black with a black name?
Why not?
No, I'm asking. I just told you
Why
why
not?
not,
If
because
they
it's
fit-
trouble.
Why is it trouble? Black people are trouble? Is that your
When they
opinion?
change their name to abnormal names like black names,
Mm-hmm.
they're saying they're angry. They are.
Do you we don't change our name. Last time I checked, I didn't choose my name.
I know,
was
but
given
your
my name
mother,
at birth.
your folks are from a different country, so
My
of
mom is
course,
from here.
but your father's from there, right? Mm-hmm. It's of course they're gonna have different names. I'm talking about the blacks who were Americans and they had American names at one time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is he saying if you change your name? But how would you even know that? I don't really get what he's saying. How would you know if you're hiring somebody if they changed their name in the past? But you're just saying like you just wouldn't hire them. If somebody goes out the way to change their name, I guess to a more problematic name, I don't know what you're saying. Like you can't change your name. If I have a black name, that's just my name. I can't forcefully change it to something else that sounds more American or whatever. That's just my name. It would be racism or discrimination if you said just based off of your name, I'm not going to hire you. I have nothing else to say but that.
You believe that? Oh, so you think that it's okay that the reason that you are a Democrat and no problem with it, you're okay with them lowering the standards for the blacks?
They're not lowering the standards for
What
the
would you call
blacks.
it? Because these people
They're
are not qualified.
If you're not qualified, then you won't get the job. But
But-
if you have the qualifications,
But
if
the
you
qualified
have the
person
resume,
is the person that can pass the test,
if you can
not
pass
the one that
test.
can't pass the test.
There's a lot of black people who have had affirmative action who have passed the test and are very educated. They have master's degrees. They have high GPAs.
But how would
they
you know
pass
that,
the
though,
test.
since you know that they only get into these schools based on color?
They're not
And so
only
they're-
getting into the schools
the
based on
standards
color.
been lowered so the blacks can get in. So you have to assume that all the blacks are just getting in because, not because of qualification, but because of affirmative action.
It's just not true.
Is that true?
It's not true.
Okay. You believe that there are benefits to having a more progressive leadership that is.
That is kind of true. And the reason I'm saying that is kind of true because, like, if you were watching this whole video, you know at the beginning, like I was saying, schools have like a quota. They need people from different places. They need people from different states. And what does this mean? They need people of different races. So if I'm saying this, because I know this to be true, it's a fact. That's how schools pick people. Let's keep it a buck. They're not going to pick 100% people from this state or this race. So you kind of have to also agree that some people get into schools based off of just their skin color or based off of just where they're from. Of course, they meet the basic requirements. I'm not saying like you can have straight E's, but it's other people who meet the requirements more. Let's just be honest. Like, that's just the truth of how schools pick people. I'm not going to sit here and lie to your face. Like, that's 100% accurate. Schools do not always pick the most academically strong students. They pick students who they want to go there. Like, it's just really that simple, man. And if you're saying this, because that's true, yes, some students do get into schools based off of just their skin color or based off of just their or where they're from or their gender. Yeah, it's true. It's definitely true.
Is willing to change the law for working class people, such as raising the minimum wage. Are you okay if you had a business, your own business? Would you be okay with the government telling you in your own private business that you have to raise the minimum wage?
I have my own private business because
Oh, you
I'm
do?
a partner at this firm, so I do own a portion of the firm. And we unionized our staff. We told them, hey, y'all should unionize. And we did their union negotiation in 2 days. We gave them good wages, they got medical, and we are bound by that union contract, and it goes up every year, and we have to reaffirm it, and we did it, and it's fine.
You wouldn't have done it had not you gotten a union? You
We
wouldn't have
had it
naturally
anyway.
done that?
Yeah, we told them to unionize.
No, if they had not gotten a union, you would not have paid them for what they were worth?
We were still paying them really well. We just wanted just to have that partnership with the union to hold us accountable. We were already paying them well. They already had great wages. So when it came down to negotiate, we ratified our union contract in 2 days. It didn't take long because we had already been providing the things that they would have wanted. So
And
yeah,
you say you needed the union to hold you responsible?
we don't need them to, but we're not afraid of it. What's the
But
problem?
why, if you were going to do the responsible thing, why did you need a union? I don't quite understand.
We didn't need it, but our staff, people want it. Like, people like to be unionized. They like to have the backing of a union. So yeah, they're here. They're our partners in it, and it's working out great.
But I don't quite understand, because if you guys were going to do the right thing anyway, and the staff knew that, why would they want a union? Because now they have to pay union dues.
We told them to unionize.
Now they have to pay union dues.
And they're
They may get a raise, but that raise going to go toward the union dues, which benefit the unions to go to the Democratic representatives to help support the Democrats to get what they want to get.
Yeah, we can be transparent. Union dues are 0.08% of our staff's paycheck. And that's something that they wanted to do. Again, they formed the union. They voted on it. That's what they wanted to do.
Who cares about a
because they
union?
wanted that, and we was cool with it.
That's amazing. You want to stop? Oh, you want to stop union busting? Why?
Why would you union bust?
Why do you want to stop union busting?
Because if people want access to better wages, health care, time off, sick leave, they should be.
But this discussion is so trivial, man. Just I don't even understand how this is a real like issue in society today. Like, this is so strange to me. But all we gotta do is just be the best we can be, and we're gonna achieve what we want to achieve, man. I don't really understand how this is a like a real debate, like saying, oh no.
Be able to have that, and busting the union oftentimes interferes with their ability to have access to those things. For instance, if the corporation themselves or the company or whoever doesn't want to give you things that you need, like sick days, basic things, we all get sick, none of us are perfectly immune, then you should be able to have access to those things and don't stand in the way of an entity that's trying to provide those type of protections for workers.
All of my life, I worked for different companies before I started my own thing. And I never worked for a company where they didn't give you time off, vacation time, sick time. And if you need to be off, they'll let you go and take care of your business. Where did that idea come from that companies don't do that and you need a union?
There's some, well, unions have been here long before either of us were
Yeah, I know
alive.
that, you're
So
right. Yeah.
a
They've been around
long
a long
time
time.
ago. And America was, again, better back then when we had union strength, because a lot of the sneaky things that some corporations and some businesses do. Like I said, I'm a business owner myself, so I understand that there are some businesses and corporations who are cool with giving people paid time off, bereavement, all of that. But then there are some people who try to skip corners.
So he was asking, why did you want to start a union? And she's saying, well, it's not that I wanted to start a union. I just didn't, I guess, care to start one. I don't know. I think she's saying like she didn't care to start one because she's going to do what she has to do for her business regardless.
It's like we had the big thing with Palestine, Ohio, and the labor workers. They were not given paid sick days. Like, why? In 2023, are we not giving people paid sick days? So there are some industries that don't do the basic things that you grew up on and that I've known most of my jobs to offer. Some people don't. So in those instances where we know that those are basic things that everybody needs, then you should be able to fight for those things.
Most of the time, the employees that are complaining are the ones that you should have working for you anyway. Cause
Sometimes.
they show up late, they halfway do a job, and they're complaining. And the reason I know that because I work for a different company, but I used to work for a union, and we were trained to go to the employee that was complaining about the job situation, not showing up for work on time or not coming to work a lot, and get them to help get you into the company so you can convince the other employees to join the union. And it's not that the union care about the people, the union care about the money. And they'll live it high on the hog while the employees are paying their salary, paying their by way of union dues. It's not like they care about them. They just care about the money and the perceived power that they're getting. Do you think that unions care about you?
Sometimes.
No, they don't.
Yeah. I'm
I
the
used to
queen of.
I work for them.
I feel you.
They
Two things
don't.
can be right at the same time. You ever heard that phrase?
What's that?
Two things can be right at the same time.
No.
There are some people who are in unions for the power and the money, and then at the same time, there are some employees who need protection and better wages. Two things can be true at the same time.
But the ones that say they need it are the ones that should be fired anyway.
Sometimes.
Right.
But sometimes
You know what I mean?
it's not. Yeah.
Amazing. And so, the union in the older days, I think they may have meant well, but the unions today are no good. They're just one-sided union for the Democratic Party, and they can care less about the people. I'm not for the unions. Just as I work for them, and I know the thinking of the unions. And they go out and they convince the people, you need more money, you need this, and you need that. And when the people think that they're going to get more, they'll afford, but they end up getting nothing. It's the union that does it.
That was a pretty good video, man. Pretty good points from both sides, man. She's definitely a very smart young lady. He's obviously has a lot of wisdom in his head, too. If you have any more suggestions, comment them down below. And subscribe to the channel, and I'll see y'all later.